Yeah, so I might be doing videos again. I've been contemplating it for a while, thinking it over, and then a friend of the channel, if the channel still exists, Ricky, yeah, I found him to be, he's just kind of really feels that it'll be good for me to do videos and then hopefully of benefit to others as well. I just have quite a few reservations with making videos, which I don't think I'll get into, but I went away for 2 days on the weekend. It was a 2-hour drive, and I did a recording actually for YouTube. It was about half an hour long, and I just wasn't holding in, I wouldn't say a bad place, because it's all experience. It's all experience, but I was just very down and out in a way. I had a shift this weekend, which I'm hoping is going to stick, with me. It was been a while since I got out of the city, and it was only 2 nights, but it was a rough 2 nights. It was like a drumming circle or something like that. I was hoping to find more like-minded people, and in a drumming circle, for heaven's sakes, in like sort of in like deep Midlands of KwaZulu-Natal type of thing, really where you can truly see all the stars at night. And I was hoping to come across people that I could connect with and have a relationship, whether it's a male or female, because everything is about relationship. And what we don't have in this world today is relationship. We don't have a relationship to ourselves. We have a relationship to our ego, or our persona, or our grandiose sense of self, which is a whole nother story. The part of us that, anyways, it's a whole other thing. But your relationship to, everything is relationship, because that's what I believe where we come from in our home, where there's no real separation in a sense, and we've come here to experience. I know this is a bit whatever, but we've come here to also have the experience of separation. And I can tell you that one of the main factors in my life is loneliness, which I'm trying to accept more and more, and just understand that this is the way that it's been for me, and perhaps this will continue to be the way, no matter if I'm unhappy with it or not, but for it not to put like a bitter taste in my mouth about my life, because I can, and I do feel that at times, which I'm going to feel that, but this continuous search that I've had to try and find people that I can grow a relationship with, people that can have my back when in times of need, when I'm going through something, or I'm having whatever it might be, that we're just on the same page, and we get each other, and we feel each other, and it's kind of like we have our own separate world. We live in our own separate world, just the two of us, and it can be male, female, doesn't matter so much the age, but it does to a degree. It's as long as we're coming with the sincerity of who we are, and the struggle of our existence and our pain. You might hear that noise. It's the cat. I play with her every night for about half an hour, and I have this sort of long dried piece of grass, or from a palm tree. It's not a grass, it's a stick or leaf, and it's dry, and I put it between the railings on the stairs here, and she claws at it, and that's what we do. So usually I do recordings to my mother or 1 or 2 people, and I was thinking, I don't always I can always talk, I can always record to my mom, I can always, what I'm saying, there's always something on my mind, there's always something that will come, but so maybe, but I don't know, anyways, yeah. So I was just saying, maybe also use this time to do recordings in that way. I mean, I'm literally just talking to my phone, walking barefooted here on the paving, and that's that. It's quite a cool evening. It's going into autumn. It is autumn, so the heat of the summer is, died down. Thank heavens for that. Anyways, besides the point. There is insecurities for me, and imposter syndrome with making videos, insecurities of like, again, being entertaining enough. Do I really have something to share? All of that stuff. whenever you go out of your comfort zones, or you're sharing yourself, or you're doing, something that is, I don't know, putting yourself, just that, the idea, like, I'm making a YouTube channel for people to listen to me, and why should they listen to me? Why should I make a YouTube channel? Like, what's the reason? What's the purpose behind it? And is it self-serving? Yes. Is it serving to others? I hope so. Otherwise, there's no point. I think that's why I stopped making videos before, because I just didn't feel that I really was talking to anybody, and now I don't know if I really care. Like, I think before I used to talk about, towards the end of my videos, like, if you've made it this far, please comment or just tell me that you have, and no one, or maybe one person commented, and I thought, that's my issue in my life, and one of my challenges is that firstly, I'm very misunderstood. I can't really be understood. And then I don't really have present people in my life to listen to me. What a tragedy that is. It's like, why am I going to, expand on that with YouTube videos and just talk to random people that I don't know, so, but there were a few of you, kind of lost contact with you. Not that we were really in contact, maybe it's through the comment sections. Maybe one or two of you did videos yourself, and I would watch and comment and things like that. But it's very hard to build a relationship with somebody that you've never met. Although we're going through similar experiences and and similar, well, the same time and the same kind of sensitivities and everything else, it's very difficult to have a relationship with somebody that you've never met, or that you don't speak to very often. Again, so that kind of lends us to maybe talking more about like general ideas in life and not our own personal stuff, because you don't know what's gone on with me for the last year. You don't know what's happened in my life, so it's not like you know me on an intimate level, and that's what I look for in relationship to people, is that my story, where I'm living, what am I doing daily, who's my life involved in, what are my challenges, etc. Not just talking about general ideas or insights or something like that, but what is going on for me. And that's what my YouTube channel always tried to be about. Personal, because that's what's missing. That's absolutely what's missing. There's no question about it. I don't spend much time on YouTube. I mean, I do, but and I'm contradicting myself, but not in the way of listening to people so much. It's more like watching videos of, I don't know, it's a bit of everything, but I listen to maybe one or two people on YouTube, and then otherwise I'm watching videos like while I'm cooking on, just to have something playing, because otherwise it's so quiet, and not a nice quiet, like a lonely quiet, an isolating quiet, a sort of solitary confinement type of quiet. Somebody who's in solitary confinement is very quiet. It's not like a peaceful thing, So I have something playing, and I don't know, I'll have things of people traveling around the world and, going to different countries, and it's interesting to see the different places, third world countries, although I live in a third world country, and just see just different, people, different cultures, and whatever it may be. And then I also feel really grateful sometimes for myself. Well, that's another thing. I don't know, even when I went away for these last 2 days, and I just see where people are holding in life and where they're at, it's like, maybe I don't have much to show for myself, but I feel I have a stronger connection to myself than most people do. Not that I'm better than anybody else. Maybe I was just born this way, but I have more of a connection to, more of a maturity, I would say, and more of an understanding and a way of knowing how to be there for people, supportive in a way, to really connect with the soul of somebody else, and I'm really grateful for that in myself, of what I have become. And I've actually done another recording that I sent on WhatsApp to Ricky, and that might be my next video. This is going to be kind of like an introduction. So I did like a 40-minute recording to him last night on YouTube, and I got to download the video editing software, whatever it is, and I'll work it out and upload it to YouTube. That'll probably be my next video. I did actually one more recording on care, you know, and the vital importance of care, you know, and how that lacks in the world. And again, you know, just, yeah, but I don't know, I'm still warming up to this. I don't want to do it haphazardly, but I also don't want to be like stressed about it. You know what I mean? I want to do it like if I'm talking to Ricky, I'm talking to my mom or something like that. That's just the way I want to do it. You know, if I'm still talking and walking and locking up, you know, the house here and going upstairs while I'm talking, because for me this is also about keeping company. For me, I do recordings to people because I'm alone, I'm isolated, and so talking to people maybe while I'm even, you know, just not washing the dishes, but I don't know, making a salad. Not that I already make salad, but you know, something like that. It's just like I don't feel so alone, you know, because it's bone-crushing isolation, to the degree of which you just think it can't be it can't be right, this, but apparently it is, you know. Yeah. And there's a lot about me that's happened in the last year or so that very few of you, obviously you wouldn't know, but like real, you know, real change, you know, in relationship and with a significant other, which is barely existent now, and just a lot of that stuff, which maybe I'll get into. You know, but it's a very sad story. It's a very sad story. It's very heartbreaking, my story. It's required a lot of faith. Yes, Kitty, it has. Required a lot of patience. And just hanging in there, you know, and so on and so forth. Anyways, so we'll see how things go. I'll just kind of go with the flow, and I don't know. I suppose like I want to be able to, you know, feel good about when I've told people, oh no, I did a YouTube channel, and feeling good like I uploaded 250 videos. I mean, over however many years, and that I was just doing something of importance and of significance, I feel, at least for myself, that I have something to show for myself, for me, you know, because otherwise it just feels so fleeting, and it just feels like, what really matters anymore? What's really significant anymore? You know, we live in such a trivialized life, and everything has been like, every single thing has been trivialized. Tell me one thing that hasn't been trivialized. So it's like hanging on for meaning, and hanging on for significance, and hanging on for purpose, and not getting lost in the void, in the emptiness of just, you know, the way that life has become. Just like scrolling through Instagram or Facebook, and it's just meaningless, you know, and it's not of any service to oneself or to the greater good of anything, you know. So how is it that we live a life in service for a greater good? And I'm not talking about like Jordan Peterson, and I must say, like, I try and listen to him, but he's just so intellectual that I find it so dry. You know, he was having a conversation with Russell Brand, and I remember how I used to sort of go on about Russell, and I must say I've changed my mind a lot about Russell Brand. I just whatever, I think, yeah, he's just one of the very few people that, you know, I feel are sincere. I mean, I've changed, you know. Before I used to think he was just so, but yeah, just so dry. You know, with Jordan, no, I don't know, for myself personally, so dry, so intellectual. It's like, just too much. But again, to be of service, you know, and for what benefit? You know, what's the point? You know, what's the point when we live in such a pointless time? where everything's been reduced down to, dollar bills and, like, what's it called, vanity number plates or something like that, where Christmas has just become, the holidays, or, just everything has become so one-dimensional. It's just so empty, just comes and goes, just, again, so trivial, so superficial. It's absolutely scary. Again, like, I bump into some of an old friend of mine that I haven't seen for like 7 or 8 years. It says his name's David, and I'm like, David, and I see the guy, it's like, wow, you're exactly the person that you were 8 years ago. You're still thinking the same. Still want to, like, though you're married, you still want to, score hot chicks or something, like, really, like, ridiculous stuff. Like, it's just amazing that there's just, no real maturity and no real growth. And it's so it's just upsetting to see. It's just upsetting to see it. And the elderly people as well, people in their 60s and their 70s that I know in my life, just becoming more and more regressed. It's very, very despairing. The times that we're living are incredibly, incredibly despairing. And again, with no real relationship to one another, or contact, or real communication, real intimacy with one another, and it's just getting worse and worse. So again, for myself, it's like, okay, so how do I keep safe? How do I keep in myself preserved what I find to be meaningful and to be to matter? And what can I show for myself? And how can I show up? And how can I be of service to myself and to my place here in the world? It's not self-serving. It can't be self-serving. It has to be more. And that's why I do make an effort. And I mean, maybe not enough, but because we could always make more effort. Again, I think I speak about this in my recording to Ricky, which I'm going to upload to, but it's really just the importance and significance of this, of what, what we owe to each other in a way. And we do owe something to each other. I mean, I don't owe anything to, like, my narcissistic brother, to be honest. But the people that are in genuine need, and they're very few. You can count them on one hand, the people that I know, the genuine few. The rest are just afraid and scared, and everything else. So yeah. Anyways, let me not go on for too long. But again, I'm going to see how things go. And I don't know how often. It'll just go on my inspiration. When I feel inspired, when I feel the need to talk, that I know nothing about. Yeah, we have so much in common. We do. And we have so much to learn from each other's experiences and insights that we've gained along the way. We do, but otherwise, on a practical level, then one day if our souls did meet, we would have this instant recognition of, like, wow, okay, something beautiful, and we owe that to each other. We owe that recognition to each other, to see one another, to feel one another, because otherwise we just, like, are ghosts, in a world that we're not being seen and we're not being felt. And so for those of us that can see one another, again, I remember when I used to go for my massages, the sensual massages, and I'd come across the lady, and I was intimate with her, and I would hug her, and she would just, like, almost weep and cry. Again, I mean, this is who I am. This is what I'm about. I'm saying I should take responsibility, take ownership of the energy that I carry. And what I'm saying is, when I was holding her and she was crying, it was almost like she's never really been hugged. She's never really been felt. She's never really been seen. And this is completely new to her, and it's something so beautiful, but it's absolutely devastating to her. And I had that quite a bit with ladies that are, because I did go for a number of sensuals. It was interesting experiences. But it was really, I realized how lonely this person was, how frightened this woman was. Maybe she had 2 children that she was trying to, the husband wasn't around, and this is what she's doing in order to make money. And it's like I see you as a human being, not just somebody as a form of pleasure, in that way. And so again, what we owe to each other, what we owe to the respect of our animals, to see the needs of our animals. I'm saying like this stupid cat that I have. Don't look at me like that. See, now I'm closing the door, although I've been out for more than half an hour. And for her, she looks forward to this the whole day. When the sun sets, and it's setting early now, she comes to cry for me to come. And I only walk her after I've eaten supper, which can be about probably 9 o'clock or so. What's the time now? Yeah, 9:30. And I do it almost every day. And she looks forward to it so much, but it's never enough. And that is the truth, is that we can never get enough love and attention and affection, and just a feedback. Because we all carry something so special and divine within ourselves. Most of it is dormant. But for those of us that are more sensitive and can see that in one another, we point it out. I point out because I'm able to see that which is dormant in somebody, and most people hate it. Like my kind of ex-significant other, pointing out to her is devastating. She doesn't want to know it. And I speak about that because she's surrounded in shame, and disappointment within herself, and doesn't have forgiveness. We have no idea the importance of forgiveness. Yeah, so for myself, I can look at people and say, okay, I can see where you are in pain, and this is just who I am. And before I would feel wrong to honor it, to talk about it, to live it, felt bad, not allowed to. But this is my gift, and it's also kind of not a curse, but something that I have to be responsible with. Because I'm very sensitive, and so I don't like looking at evil people in the eye. There's this thing on Facebook, which I don't spend much time on. I don't spend time on Facebook. It's called Empaths or something like that. It's a group. And people upload photos of themselves and ask people to do readings on them. And I think I could probably do a pretty good job, but I don't like reading these people's energies. I'm just uncomfortable. It's like I'm just opening myself up to a deluge, like a flood of just, information and energy. And that's what I feel like. That's why I'm so overwhelmed. Like a lot of time I wear earplugs when I leave the house. I wear sunglasses. I just, I need stillness. Energy is very, very intense for me. Information, data, again, my laptop is on black and white. My cell phone is in black and white. Can't watch a movie. I can't, because there's such an influx. If I open myself up to it, it's just, I'm immersed in it. And so there's a lot of people in a lot of pain. And again, taking on that pain with somebody, if we're really being intimate and engaging with each other, that's a serious affair. It's like we're on the operating table. It's not like, oh, just bring me your pain and tell me about your life or something like that, like very haphazardly. No. It's a serious, serious affair. That's what I'm saying, is that if you listen to my recordings, then great. Take something from them, that's great. I mean, if it helps, then fantastic. But I'm saying for us to start up like a whole sort of friendship, in a sense, over the frickin' YouTube or the internet or WhatsApp or some kind of, social media, is ridiculous. Because it can't really honor the depth, and the sanctity of your experience, the sacredness of your experience, Like, we don't realize how significant our lives are, and our story is, and our pain is, and our loneliness is. We don't feel that it is, because most of the people that we talk to have never really had the depth to appreciate it or reflect it to us and say, wow, this is real. Like, wow, this is really impacting. We hear news every day of child traffic. We hear the most horrible. We're so desensitized. We are so desensitized to whatever it is. Again, I walk on the beach, and after like sort of a strong storm, there's just so much. The beach is just absolutely littered in trash. Like you can't take one step without stepping on pieces of broken plastic or whatever it might be. And then it's just like, people just still go for a walk and try to find their way. I mean, that's not a good example, but we completely are desensitized. It's absolutely crazy beyond crazy how desensitized we are. So we're desensitized to the value of our life and our existence and the importance of relationship to ourselves, to one another, to a higher being, a higher purpose. It's like, I'm just trying to live my life, and I mean, that's not. We walk on holy ground, on sacred ground every day, and again, our job, I mean, if you're listening to this, like, I feel like very, very responsible for this. Very, very responsible for doing what I can. I can't take it in, I can't not take it seriously. I can't just take it lightheartedly or just, not with intensity, with seriousness. Because then what does my life stand for? What does every day of my loneliness and being stuck in the city and, just washing the dishes and then having to get, sale call and, hi, would you like to take out an insurance on your yacht? I mean, I'm joking, you know what I'm saying? Having to contend with the world and having contend with all of the, all of the dysfunctional, oh man, it's horrible. It's horrible, it's awful, and walking around with these NPCs and, ghost-like people and whatever it is, and they're miserable, and they're suffering, and they're in pain, and it's like, oh, most people, it's a horrific freak show, man. And so, right. So if I'm only operating with that, if I've only got that in my life on a day-to-day level, geez, man, it's an absolute hellhole. But so if I can try and be serious about it and try and say, you know what, I've had a hard life, but I've stuck in there and I've made a lot of effort, and that must count for something. It must count. Not that I'm going to get a seat in heaven or, the 5-star serve, whatever it might be, just for myself and myself alone, and say, you know what, you're in good hands. You're in good hands, and even though you've been against the odds, you're still in good hands, and you built a relationship with yourself. You've made a life. Maybe you don't have much to show for it, which sometimes I don't. Maybe that's the point. I mean, I'm not good with my hands. I can't often drill a hole in the wall and just, the basics of stuff. I'm not into carpentry, or not an artist. I can't draw anything, So I'm saying maybe I don't have a family, really. Now of my age, I don't have a YouTube channel really. I don't, I mean, I just barely exist in the world of being able to show who I am. But if I can feel who I am and come from there every day, just generate from there, dig, dive into the deep well of who I am. I'm tired, I can't find the words. And I can live from that space, and I can help myself navigate and be there for myself. I mean, I know those are just sort of so cliched words and just words, but I can have a relationship with myself and feel good about myself when I put my head on the pillow at night, and feel that I am looked after by a higher power, a higher being, that my life does have value, and that one day I will not exist anymore, but that I won't have regret for missing out, even though it was so horrific, but of making something beautiful out of it. That's the task at hand. So if you don't take your own life seriously and you feel you're making a mockery of your own life and your own pain and your own experience, then that's a tragic story, which is fine. It's up to you. But you can't feel very good about yourself if you're not trying to make your life something beautiful, but in the most sincere way. And what is that beauty that I'm talking about? Is the connectedness, the relationship that you have with yourself, that you feel that you're in good hands and you feel that you've been doing a pretty good job. And I think it's an open invitation to every single person on this planet. Just very few do it. Most of us are way too cynical, way too embittered, overwhelmed with pain, hopelessness, helplessness, just feeling so mediocre, just feeling it's so humdrum, feeling like, really, what the hell's the point anyways? It's not a good place to be in, not just because I say so, because, okay, well, it is my opinion. I just don't think it's a good place to be in. I don't think it's going to serve you well. Yeah. All right. Perhaps we shall speak some more. Take care.